welcome. It's a familiar place. It's Oracle Arena out here in Oakland, California. I've got the rational, somewhat honest Chauncey Billups all the way to my left.
Really?
The always dapper and well-behaved Jalen Rose.
Yes, he is.
And the man to my right who would literally trade in everyone for Zion Williamson is here on my right. Paul Pierce. Yeah, that is it.
Captain, Michelle Beadle.
Oh, that's I don't need an introduction.
No,
so
she doesn't.
we've got a game. It's coming up in I don't know, an hour or so, but it's the Warriors trying to go for that three-peat. Before any of that can even happen, our storyline happens to be Magic Ping Pong Ball Night. Yeah, that's right. It's not just the Western Conference Finals kicking things off. It's our storyline brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors. As we get things started, game one of these Western Conference Finals. It's straightforward, y'all. Kevin Durant cooking right along, best player in the playoffs, still sidelined by that calf strain that knocked him out of Game 5 against Houston. He's going to be reevaluated Thursday. That's before Game 2. Now, Portland has to win this series, and if they can, they have to win one here at Oracle. And they won't have Kevin Durant to deal with right off the start. So Warriors, Blazers, they split their 4 head-to-head meetings 2-2. Both teams averaging better than 110 a game. Both teams got the best out of their stars. All of that being said, the Warriors and their vulnerabilities. We've talked about it so much this season. What has it taught you, Jay?
Or their invincibility. When Kevin Durant's playing, nobody in the West is beating this basketball team. I want to give props to the teams in the East, like the Toronto Raptors and the Bucks in particular. Hopefully they can push the Warriors. But him being out, I think, allowed them to go back to their original roots. When Steph plays and KD doesn't, they're 27-1.
That's crazy.
He's heard the chatter about it being KD's team. They've heard the chatter about KD possibly leaving. So you know what they do? They like, all right, if that's the case, we're going to go out and ball and show him and show the world we can still win without him.
That's fair.
Based on those dynamics, they don't need to rush him back. I think they're confident regardless.
I mean, that's a good record, but is that a record with playoff basketball?
No, it's regular season included.
So that's something to keep an eye on.
You agree?
To me, the thing is, and you talk about them being vulnerable, it just speaks to, and we never had the kind of success that this Warriors team has had, but I've been to the finals twice in a row, and the regular season gets boring. They were bored. Now you see them turn it up a little bit in the playoffs, in these playoffs, and Steph get 0 points in the first half and almost 40 in the second half. I mean, they're playing for something now, and that always is just a different beast. So to me, I still feel like, they're the best team out there. We'll see if KD comes back healthy.
Right.
But they're going to need him to come back healthy.
So you feel like if KD doesn't play a couple of games in this series, that Portland can win?
I do, because I think it's closer than you think. Because, for one, I think the backcourts are a wash. And the one thing that Portland,
I can hear America right now writing this down, Paul.
I mean,
just letting you know.
Credit to Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard was a first-team All-NBA player a year ago.
Yep.
That'll be Steph this year. So these guys are neck and neck when we talk about talent and scoring. C.J. McCollum has played like an all-star.
Fair.
Klay Thompson is an all-star. So they're not far off from each other. Now, the difference is going to be the role players. Now, if KD didn't play and Rodney Hood would have been in this game the way he's been playing, I would have favored the Portland Trail Blazers. But since Warriors have home court advantage, it can go either way.
Okay, wait. So we just came off of this Houston series, right?
Yeah.
The one that you guys all said Houston was going to win, but that's neither here nor there. That being said,
said they were going to win that game.
Okay, sure.
By the way,
what does Portland have that's different that will pose some sort of a problem to this Warriors team?
Structure. The Houston Rockets, they play isolation, like pretty much pickup basketball, and just shoot threes the entire game. This Portland Trailblazer team, they have structure. They move the ball strong side to weak side. They move their bodies. They run plays, actually. Defensively, they have concepts. They have principles. They make adjustments, as opposed to Houston. And this is no shade at Houston. This is just the truth. They just switch everything on defense, and they just run ISOs on offense. To me, that's no real way to play. This Trailblazers team, they play the exact opposite.
How about this, Bees? And Paul just touched on it. They have two guys that can get their own shot and score 40 tonight. And they're not afraid of the moment. Regardless of pick and roll, they can do it in the half court. They can do it in transition. They can do it against bigger defenders. They can do it shooting Mid-range, as CJ proved in the previous games, and they both are fearless. And when you have two guys like that, they become wild cards, especially one of those guys who's born and raised here. Okay, Dame Lillard has his highest points per game average against any team is the Golden State Warriors.
Do we have an X factor for Portland?
You know, to me, and I, like Paul said, I'm not sure of how healthy Rodney Hood is. He would have been my obvious guy. But Evan Turner is a guy who stepped up Game 7, played really big in Denver.
10
they
points
depended on him. If they start trapping Dame and CJ, he's a guy that can make plays, you know, if he gets the ball in his hands. So they're going to need him to make some plays if this guy, Rodney Hood,
I think it's Enes Kanter. I really think he has to have an inside presence. You know, that's one of the holes that Golden State has, is you got to be able to take advantage of offensive rebound, which he does well, which he does great. You got to take advantage of his post presence. He's a guy you can throw the ball into and he can get you a bucket. So if he can get out there and give them great minutes, I'm talking about 18 and 12, which he is capable of doing in this series, he could be a real X factor moving forward. I'm talking about the type of X factor that can get them over the top.
I'm worried about how many minutes he can play. You got Enes Kanter out there. He's a poor defender. You're going to put him in pick and rolls,
all day,
pin down situations. I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to play in the series, Paul.
Believe it or not, this is not the only mega event happening tonight. Western Conference Finals kicking off, and also the NBA Draft Lottery, also known as Zion Williamson Night Part 1. Right now, we're going to send it out to Chicago and the Jump Crew.
Welcome into Chicago, where the trains all run on time, and so will the NBA Draft Lottery tonight. The Duke contingent's already in the building, guys. Cam Reddish is here, ready to go, and his teammate, RJ Barrett. Yes, you do a little dance, young man. It is going to be a good night for you, no matter how the ping pong balls fall. I am Rachel Nichols. Welcome into our little draft cubby hole here. We're all ready to go. I'm alongside our NBA senior insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, and the two J's. We're just going to call you J number 1, J number 2. You could be J number 3 by the time we're done. Jay Williams, Jay Phillips, we're so excited to have you here. I want to get to the little headlines about how things are going to work tonight. Used to be that 3 teams could jump the order for the draft. Now we've got 4 teams that could come up in the order, so we might get a little chaos here tonight. And the lottery odds have flattened as well. So the New York Knicks, being the worst performing team in the league this year, used to have the best shot at getting the number 1 pick, but now their odds are even with teams like the Cavaliers and the Suns. And it's so important because of this young man. I think we can just drop projected from that graphic, right? He is going to be the number 1 overall pick. He is just that special. And on a night like tonight, where that prize, getting Zion, is so great, why did the NBA want to change the way they do things here?
Simple, Rachel. They wanted to end that race to the bottom that has gone on in the NBA. They want teams chasing wins, not ping pong balls. And that creates a draft lottery where there's a lot more hope toward the back end that you can move up and get in position to maybe not get Zion Williamson, but to get an impact player.
Well, the race to the top is all about Zion Williamson, and we have not seen a more exciting player than Zion since the 2003 NBA draft with LeBron James. And JB, his transcendent talent, you know, obviously his jumping, his athletic ability, but the relentless pursuit he plays with is a difference maker. And we don't see that type of talent play with that type of passion in the NBA as much.
No, well said. He's the holy grail in this draft. And he's not the best player that I've ever seen, but I've never seen a player like him on a basketball floor. He is truly unique, and he is literally his athleticism is off the charts. He out-jumped the vertical leap device at Duke when he first got there at 45 inches. And look at the ground he can cover to block a shot of a great athlete in the corner. DeAndre Hunter of Virginia came from the other side of the floor to do it. Excellent passer, a very good ball handler, a magnificent finisher. He had 72 dunks on the year. They were all on SportsCenter multiple times. He's just he creates his own offense off his defense. Over 2 steals per game. He blocks shots and protects the rim. He's an excellent offensive rebounder, just relentless in every way. Never takes a play off, and an absolutely great teammate. His second jump more explosive than a great athlete's first jump. You've mentioned it, truly special.
And off the court, just as comfortable, easy. We will be waiting for this young man coming up soon.
You guys, when is the last time we had a coach arrival shot? Is it never? I feel like it's never. Steve Kerr, you'd think he'd have someone carry his dry cleaning in for him, but he's not. 17-1 in game 1 of any series under that man right there. And Warriors and Blazers, only game tonight. The Raptors coming off the greatest moment in franchise history and right into the Eastern Conference Finals. We're going to do a little Kawhi Giannis next.
It's going to be a good one there.
NBA Countdown is presented by Mountain Dew. Do the do. And in part by Honda. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer.